Hello, and today we're going to talk about the major scales. I'm going to go over a few of them, how to play them, what notes are required in them, and I'm also going to say the formula on how to find any major scale on any note, any key. So let's get started with C. The key of C is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. That is the notes for the major scale of C. Anyways, we're going to talk about the fingering. How do you play the C major scale so that it flows smoothly, right? So I would start with your thumb on the root note, which is C, and then your index finger on the next note, D, and then your middle finger on E. And now, instead of going with your ring finger on F, you're going to reach around under your fingers with your thumb and hit the next note, which is F. That way, you can start with your index finger on the next note, then your middle finger, ring finger, and then your pinky. That way, it flows nicely, if you will. And that's how that fingering goes, right? To do it backwards when you're practicing, it's going to be the same fingers, just in reverse. Your pinky, your ring finger, your middle finger, your index finger, your thumb. Now, you're going to take your middle finger and cross over your thumb and hit the E, and then index, D, and thumb on the root, C. So that's the fingering that you want to practice with, right? Practice slow with a metronome. That's going to really help you in the long run. See, I already messed up on that. But yeah, seriously. Practice slow with a metronome and then back. And it's going to do wonders for you in the future, right? Speed it up later on with the metronome. Like, seriously, do it with the metronome. And then you could go faster until you can like really flow through it, you know? It'll be cool, right? It'll help you a lot. So when you get comfortable playing the major scale with your right hand, you're going to want to play it with your left hand. You need to strengthen your left hand and practice with it. And it's the same notes. We're just going to go over the fingering. It's pretty much the same. So on the left hand, you're going to start with your pinky, right? And then your ring finger, then your middle finger, index finger, thumb, and then you're going to reach over with your middle finger, right? And then it's the index, and then your thumb, right? Then going backwards, it's the same thing, just the thumb underneath. So thumb, index, middle, reach under with your thumb, and then index, middle, ring, and pinky. You're going to want to practice that with the metronome as well. With the metronome, right? When you get comfortable on both hands, you can start doing two hands together. That could be a little more challenging if you're a beginner. That was challenging for me doing that because you have to think about, oh, this hand has to go underneath with the thumb, but this hand needs to go over with the middle finger, and it can be a mind blow. I don't know. It can be challenging. The formula for the major scales are going to be whole step, you know what? I'm going to stop myself there, right? I need to tell you what whole steps and half steps are if you want to understand what the formula is, right? So a half step, say we're starting on C. A half step is the next tone up, the next note. So from C to C sharp, that's one half step. From C sharp to D, that's a half step. D to D sharp, half step. D sharp to E, half step. Cool? A whole step is two half steps put together, right? Two half steps make a whole step. So one whole step is, let's say if we start from C, a whole step would be D, right? Because we went half step, and then that's on D, you know? Cool. Now that you know that, the formula. The formula for any major scale is going to be, starting on whatever note you want to play on. In this case, we're in C. It's whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. If you can remember that, that's going to help you. Whole step, half step, whole step, half step. Right? So we're going to go, like in the example, you know what? We're going to say key of G. It's going to be G, all right? Whole step, A, whole step to B, half step to C, whole step to E, and then another whole step. It's not going to be this note, right? Because that's a half step. So half step, whole step. It's going to be this note. It's a F sharp or G flat. And then another half step. And that's the formula for major scales. I think there's 12 major scales because you can do C, C sharp, all these notes as major scales. All right, so let's even go abstract with D sharp. To find the major scale for D sharp, whole step, half step, whole step, half step. So there you go. Major scales and its formula to find it anywhere. Before you go, let me tell you about the F major scale, because that one's a bit different than the other scales, right? The F major scale is F, G, A sharp, C, D, E, and F. And the reason it's different is because the fingering is different, right? The fingering for F major scale is going to be on your right hand, thumb, index, middle finger, ring finger next, and then you're going to reach under with your thumb to C. And then it's index finger on D, middle finger on E, and ring finger back on F. You'll notice you never use your pinky. That's the only scale, really. That one can be tricky for a lot of beginners because, you know, you have to like almost twist your arm out here to reach the next note, C. But with practice, you'll get it. And it's the same with the left hand, right? F on your pinky, ring finger G, A is with your middle finger, index finger on A sharp, thumb on C, reach over with your middle finger, and then it's going to be index finger, and then back with your thumb. It's a little easier on the left hand, I think so, because you don't have to like twist your arm. So yeah, practice your scales. I don't practice enough, and it's a problem. But seriously, practice with the metronome. I know it seems really redundant and bad and slow, boring, but you know, just going slow is the key. You build that muscle memory, your fingers will be much better for it. So have fun practicing your major scales and learning your major scales on every key. With that formula, that should help you a lot. So yeah, talk to you next time.